What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with more Danmachi. Now, today we're going to be talking about the big unit adjustments. I say big. Some of these are big, some of these are kind of meh. But these units have always been very, very relevant. These are the rerun banners coming in tonight. So let's go ahead and talk about them. And Ryu doesn't get any numbers change. She just gets a little bit of a skill change. And I'm going to be honest, she doesn't need a numbers change. She's still phenomenal. In fact, we really need to do some damage testing with this team. And see how they do with the 100% water attack damage that we have now. And just kind of apply them to the new team and see how they do. But I get the feeling we're going to get a good opportunity to do that tonight in Wrecker Buster. So I'm going to save that for a little bit later. Plus, we already have several videos that I'm backlogged that I need to get out. So, you know, well, that might have to wait for the weekend. We'll see what happens. Anyway, getting into it. Her essay, initially Stomping Whiteout, was a faux singular ultra water magic attack with ultra and guard rate. Damage received attack all in single target plus 25%. Becomes faux singular ultra water magic attack with temporary great magic boost. So they add great magic boost. Ultra and guard rate. Damage received attack all in single target plus 25%. So they just add the temporary great magic boost. That is phenomenal. She already was a really good hitter. This just kind of gives her what she needs on her SA because most people didn't use her for SA. You would use her basically with skill 3 and then just go to town on your opponent. Now, Gathering Sleet. I don't remember if this is skill 1 or skill 2. I believe it's skill 2, but I could be wrong on that. Initially was a faux singular fast mid-water magic attack with high critical rate. Self-magic of water attack damage plus 60%. And faux damage received single target plus 20%. I don't know why they worded it that way, but they did. That actually changes, and they word it better now. It's a fast mid-water magic attack with high critical rate. Damage received attack single target plus 20%. Self, magic, and water attack damage plus 65%. So an extra 5% in there, basically before you get the 100% buffs. So not bad. Not end of the world stuff, but not bad. And they cut a little MP off there. Once again, that's kind of lip service. That 3 MP is not going to make much of a difference. Azure Wind, I believe this is skill 3 if I recollect correctly, is a super water magic attack with temporary magic boost and high on guard rate and strength and magic. No, I take that back. I think her skill 3 was a high class attack with a percentage. So I think this was skill 2 right here. Super water magic attack with temporary magic boost, high on guard rate, strength and magic down 45% for 2 turns. Literally the same thing, but it goes for 4 turns, which is super nice. And they actually cut a ton of MP off there. It was 59 MP cost. Now it's down to 42, so almost got 20 MP off. That's really nice, actually. Now, Anna Kitty's where we start getting into the big changes here, okay? Now, she does get a numbers change, but her only real numbers change is Dex. Goes from 641 to 833 or 908 after full ascension. If you do not have this unit, be aware one of her best things about her is her low Dex, her low agility, and she keeps that low agility. I have mine at level 60, and I do not regret that. But I know one of the changes coming up, I might change my mind. I might actually go to max her out. But we got to see how it works. Because remember, the big thing she's here for is to be slow. Because cat-like agility. This is one of the main things she's used for. Slow. Strength and wind attack damage plus 35% for 3 turns for all allies. And then foes. Remove strength, magic, and agility buffs. This is a slow skill. Being at level 60 means her agility is super duper low. She has cat-like, I called that agility. Alacrity? So she had cat-like alacrity. I keep wanting to call that agility. I just really do. Anyway, cat-like alacrity. Basically, this goes now to slow strength, penetration rate, wind attack damage plus 30% for 3 turns, and foes, plural, removes strength, magic, and agility buffs. So basically what she does here is she comes into the team and then does this really slow attack that actually wipes out everybody's buffs. So on the beginning of the next turn, this is why she was used in Wargame for so long, and still is to a great extent. Basically, at the end of each turn, she wipes out your strength, magic, and agility buffs. So in the next turn, your units like, Lead and Drunk Philvis and all that we're actually need to here in a moment, don't actually get the damage on turn 2 that they're designed to do. Because remember, those units are designed to come in, do a big buff. We'll get to her in a moment. And then Anna Kitty really negates that. It's really nice, and you want her slow. Now, I know something coming up here, so let's get into this. Sharpened Steel, foes plural, super wind physical attack with temporary strength boost, ultra and guard rate, physical resist and wind resist down 35%, and down 30%, spoilers, and dex down 40%, becomes 35% and dex down 40% with a slight MP decrease. Notice MP was increased on skill 1, skill 2 MP is slightly decreased to kind of offset that. Skill 3, and this is a huge change here. This is where it actually might benefit you to max limit break on a kitty, depending on how you want to use her. Now, the caveat to this, let's talk about this. High wind physical attack with ultra critical rate, damage 40% per each self strength buff skill, becomes high wind physical attack with ultra critical rate, damage 60% per self buff skill. That's 120% attack. Now, to be fair, and here's the kind of downside to this, she's an AoE unit, and you're kind of going in here going, okay, this is a really good buff on a wind team that's really potent still, and that could be a great record buster attack. But she is predominantly AoE, though removes strength, magic, and agility buffs. Isn't bad for Record Buster. To be fair, it's not going to be relevant in this coming Record Buster. So, if you do wind up with her, I would still say personally keep her at like between level 1 to level 60. Only use her for skill 1. But if you have the dupes, hang on to them and see, maybe on down the road, you actually might want to utilize that. But understand that that is going to negate her skill 1 if you do that. Or not negate it, but having the extra agility is going to make skill 1 a little faster. Though, honestly, with the rate we've been going with the game, while there are still ways to negate her, most units are extremely quick now. So she's still going to be one of the slowest units on the team. Not the slowest, but one of. Passive skills. Earth resistance plus 35% when countering and attacking with regular physical attack with a foe with a wind element. That does not change. Okay? Counter attack. Counter damage plus 50% becomes counter damage plus 60%. Damage 15% upon penetration stays the same. Strength and endurance plus 30% becomes strength, endurance, and dex plus 30%. And ability, so plant killers, 50% towards plants. That doesn't change at all. Okay? Now, Dazed Elf Leafia. Everybody crunk on this banner. Let's get that out of the way. She does not get a numbers change, but we're going to talk about her. She's an assist. At max limit break, she goes from 45% sleep and endurance, sleep, endurance, agility, and dex down 10% to 45% sleep, strength, magic, endurance, agility, and dex down 10%. It's not a massive change. If you've got her max limit broken, she gets slightly better, but once again, it's not an end of the world thing. I still use mine actually in Wargame, and that extra strength and magic down 10% is going to be helpful, though once again, it is not a life-changing event here. Okay? Dazed Master Soma. Okay? Once again, I'm going to go to the max limit break here. Ooh, Drunk Filvis did not get a buff. Ooh, that's a major upset. So Ryu and Anakitty are the only two adventurers that get a buff. Everybody else stays the same. You know what? I'll be honest. I don't think Filvis needed it. I think she's still very dangerous and still very potent. And the buff that Ryu got is kind of nice. So that's a bit of an upset. I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, Masterful Brew. This is once again at Masterful Brew. Masterful Brew. This is once again at full max limit break. Allies damage received attack all on single target down 15%. And water and wind attack damage plus 15%. Becomes a paragraph. Allies damage received attack all and single target down 15%. And water attack damage and wind attack damage plus 15%. And self. Oh, they're adding this skill in here. Self plus 3 instant effect when attacked by a water attack or wind attack. Water resist and wind resist plus 20% on allies once per turn. So basically for 3 turns, if you're attacked by a wind or water attack, it's going to buff everyone's resistance. That's really nice. Here's the best part about that. The water team is a very potent and insane team in Wargame right now. If you have this unit on your team, it is going to nerf big time the effects of the water team. That means a lot of us are going to start building for the first time in the better part of 6 months, are going to start building new teams. I say 6 months, not like 4 months, but whatever. You get the concept. This nerfs the water team drastically in Wargame, and that makes Soma really good. I mean, really good. So if you have like a fire team or something like that that you really, really, really want to utilize, and you've been like getting like massacred by the water team, if you don't have Soma Max Limit Broken, Max Limit Break Soma. That is, I think, the biggest change. That where it says 3 instant effects, but it also says once per turn. So this basically becomes first water or wind attack in each turn is going to utilize that. So there's a lot of those units out there. Guys, those are the rebalances. Is this banner worth summoning on? If you do not have these units Max Limit Broken, it is probably a great time to do it, especially Soma. I'm warning you right now. If you do not have Soma Max Limit Broken, now is the time. Get on that. Get on that ASAP. But for now, that is going to be the video. Doesn't look like Philvis got anything new, and that's a bit of an upset. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think she needs it. If you're not familiar, Philvis is literally like the old lead unit, where she comes in with... where lead comes in with a fast skill and a big buff. She kind of goes like super late game. She's kind of there to kind of go after some of the other units. She's not a slow skill, I don't believe. I don't think she's a slow skill. Let's go pull her up here, since we're talking about her. Okay, we'll filter this down by water units. Where's she at? There she is. So she gets nothing new, but foes plural, dex and endurance down 30%, self, magic, agility, and water attack damage plus 60%. Notice that is not a slow skill, but this next one is a fast skill. So her whole goal is to come in sometime in mid-turn 1, and I'm talking Wargame, do all these buffs and debuffs. At the very beginning of turn 2, come in with a real quick attack and just slaughter everybody hardcore. The only difference being that lead does this as a fast skill. She does this as just a general skill. It's not even slow. It's just a general skill. And that's one of the things that Anakitty is designed to do, because Anakitty kind of negates this. Her agility is 1148, and you'd really want to utilize that to the best of your ability. Anakitty having that really low agility means she's going to go after Philvis, and she's going to wipe out the strength and magic buff. So that basically Philvis comes in turn 2 and is lacking about half of her power. That's what makes Anakitty so great. And Philvis really not getting a buff is, I would call it an upset, but I don't think it's necessary. I think Ryu having the buff is going to be potent. And I'm going to take it back. I think tonight's Record Buster is going to favor Water, just because Water got the biggest single target buff. So there you go, guys. We'll do some damage testing with Ryu coming up here tonight. Like, comment, share. I'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern with the live stream. We'll talk about all the new stuff. We'll work on the Record Buster. We'll do all that kind of stuff. 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. Be there. I'll see you guys then.